Go.
Okay, hello everybody. So, how was the peanut butter pie? Whoa, we just I'd never had it before, and it was a delightful end to lunch. So I'm really excited to introduce you to an old friend of mine, Julia Burney Witherspoon. Julia is the founder of the Cops and Kids Reading Program Reading Room in Racine, Illinois. Racine, Wisconsin. And I first met her, probably a dozen or more years ago when I was with another nonprofit called Quota International. And Julia is a former police officer. She loved books so much that she started getting worked out at a fundraiser where people were giving books that the police could put into their squads and hand them out to kids to make them comfortable in situations. And then Julia was done being a police officer and was able to start the Cops and Kids Reading Room. And I'm going to let her tell you the rest of the story because it's fascinating and wonderful, and it continues today in a big way. So, Julia Burney Witherspoon.
Thank you.
I think that you have room for some questions.
You might want to push.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to just probably take it off your ears so they okay.
There you
10
go.
minutes. Okay, gosh, 10 minutes.
Ish.
10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes. Okay. Hi. Julia, yes. I started Cops and Kids really, really fast. Handing out books from my squad car. But what really got me going on it is I went on a raid I was a police officer in Racine, Wisconsin, and I went on a raid and they assigned me the kitchen and it changed my whole life. You said, what? They assigned me to search the kitchen for a gun used in a homicide, and it changed my whole life. And what happened was I was searching, and the mom and the boyfriend were sitting on the sofa in handcuffs, because you know, we're raiding. Can you guys hear me if I move?
Yeah.
So they're sitting there, and so they're handcuffed. And we're throwing cereal around, and sugar and flour and bread. Nobody is saying a thing, not a word. So I could tell there were a lot of kids in the house, but you didn't see like a lot of toys or something, but you could see the kids' clothes all over. And all I did, I just looked up. And on her refrigerator were stacks and stacks and stacks of children's books. They're just stacks, not like that, just little stacks, children's books, all over the refrigerator. And all I said to her was, because that happened to me in my life, see? And I'm thinking, no, but I have to know that this can't be true. I said, excuse me, ma'am, why are those books on the refrigerator? She went totally berserk. Oh no, you're not charging me for those books. My kids didn't touch those books. My kids never touched those books. If there's something wrong with those books, my kids didn't do it. If there's got markings in those books, my kids didn't do it. And she's handcuffed. And if those pages are torn, my kids didn't do it. You're not going to put all that on me. My kids never touch books. But, whoa, okay. I just asked a question. And I said to her, please don't tell me these books are from the school library. Yeah, they're from the school library. Yeah, they're from the school library, but my kids never ever read them. So don't even try to blame. Okay. Oh my goodness. And I told my sergeant, I said, there is no weapon in the kitchen, but I have to go home. Go home? I have to go home. And I have to go home right now. I have to go home. Because you know why I have to go home? Because that's where my parents used to put our books. I'm the oldest of 12. Both of my parents were alcoholics. And we weren't allowed to touch books in our house. We had nothing to read. But at Stephen Bull's school in Racine, which was Red Apple, I was in the purple reading group.
And I could read well. You know, there are some kids that just catch reading. They just catch it. And I don't care who their parents are or how much money they got. You can take the poorest child in the world, can outread the richest child in the world. That's a fact. Reading is just something, it just happens. And I could read well, but the minute I came home, reading stopped for me. But I love to read. I itched and I thirst. I was just telling my table mates that I read about 40 books a month with Kindle. I love to read. I'm sitting here talking to you guys right now. I'm seriously, truly, I really want to be home because I just started a book before I came here. But I didn't want to call and cancel on y'all, but the book was really good. And do you know when I went home, I'm not going to lie to any of you guys, and yes, I'm a cop, and you guys can tell anybody you want that I did this, but I paced. And I paced. And I said, God, no. No, 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 no. That's why the kids aren't graduating. That's why the crime is so high. They're not reading. They're not. It's happening again. And I'm 70 years old. And it's still happening. But not just in Racine, in Kenosha. All over the world, it happens. Because poor children, we were never allowed in the public libraries. And somebody say, why not?
Why not?
Because my parents couldn't afford the fines associated with overdue books. If you damaged them, you had to pay for them. My parents both died thinking books were $1 million. Because back in the slavery days, books were like sacred. So my parents never knew that books were just, mom and dad, you can just buy them. They never believed that in African American families, they just believed books were like, don't touch the book. And so if you go to the Kenosha library today, and you say, well, Julia, how do we know if the kids are poor? Trust me, you'll know. You don't see them there. They're not allowed. And it's generational. And so when I went home, I cried. And I said, I have to change this. I didn't say you have to change it or you have to change it or you. I said me. I have to do something about this. What can I do? It's just me. I don't have a lot of money. You know, cops don't make a lot of money. How can I buy books for all the kids that need books? What am I going to do? Well, I don't know about you guys, but let me tell you this. This is not a church, but prayer works. Prayer is real. Prayer works. And I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed. I went back to work. I said, God, all I ask, if you just show me a way to get books for our kids, I will spend the rest of my life putting books into the hands of children, I promise. Just show me how to afford them. And I promise you, this happened to me. I went to work. 2 days later, that's still on my head, and I'm hurrying. 2 days later, I got a call of a burglar alarm. And we're assigned as police areas to work. And we don't work as hard as y'all think we work. We have an area. That's mine, that's yours, and I'm not trying to do anything in yours, and you're not trying to do anything in mine. But they sent me from this area all the way to that area because that area officer was busy. So they sent me to cover. Why me? I'm way over here. Why don't you pick someone else? Why me? I went to that call of a burglar on daylight, broad day. I went in. It was a warehouse. No windows, pitch black. We went in the warehouse. Stay with me, ladies, stay with me. I took my gun out, and I'm searching. And I'm 5'5", and there's these boxes, and I can't see in the boxes. But I'm just, what? And I'm telling my partner, what is this? And I'm searching. And then I told the guy that works there, hit the lights. He hit the lights. And it's like God poured all these children's books out from heaven. There were books everywhere. Children's books everywhere. Now, I went into shock. I had my gun in my hand, and I'm going, where did these books come from? All these. And my partner's going, Julia, put the gun holster. Oh, sorry. Where did these books, whose books? I forgot all about the burglar. He said, officer, is there a burglar? Oh, there's no burglar. Where did these them. He said, these books are headed for the shredder. All of them. And now I can't see anything wrong with their brand new books, but they're all everywhere, y'all. Their books are just everywhere. I'm thinking, God, I have died and went to book heaven. And all I said was, Lord, these books are mine. Thank you, Jesus. And they looking at me like this lady done lost her mind. That's why we don't like ladies be cops. They don't know what is wrong with this cop. And I'm in the middle of the floor going, thank you, Jesus, for these books. I know these books are mine. Going to the shredder, not in this world. And I said to him, I said, do you think, now I haven't talked to my chief. I have talked to nobody to get permission, but I'm just prayerful. Do you think I can get a couple of these books? He said, let me talk to the owner and see what I can do. Fast forward. Called the police department. That cop that was here praying. They said, we don't have cops that pray on the job. Well, there was a black lady in here praying on the burglar call. Headquarters to Officer Burney. Were you praying on a burglar call? 10-4. You got a phone call. So I go in, he said, yes, you can get, the owner said, yes, you can take some books. Yes, thank you, God. Now I have to run upstairs to see the chief, Chief Hosine, who's now deceased, bless his heart. I said, Chief Hosine, please, can I get some books and then give them out to the kid? Now I'm just thinking, God is just talking and I'm just, you know, can I get some books and give the books out like we do baseball cards, you know? And the chief says to me, Julia, we don't give books to kids. I know, Chief. Now, I'm not thinking clearly, but the chief's got a window when you go past his office that is a glass. I had both of my knees replaced at the same time a while back. So this didn't happen, this happened before then. I got on my knees in front of the chief going, Chief, in my uniform going, Chief. And anybody walk by, I can imagine what that might have looked like. I'm on my knees, but Chief, please. He said, Julia, get up. What are you doing, Chief? Please let me do it. He said, Julia, go, do whatever you want. So I go to my fellow officers about me being a woman. You know, we can get men to do anything we want them to do. So I said to the officers, there used to be a place in Racine called Randall's County Market with the box handle books. I went and asked the guy, could I get some of them boxes? And he says, I'm in uniform. So he's like, yeah, get all you want. So I don't think of the uniform as uniform. It's just clothes to me. And I'm running around talking about, can I get some boxes? And I put the boxes by twos. I said, shoot, if they're free, can I get threes? So I gave you three and you three and you three. Just go with me and fill them up and just put them in my car. We go rolling up there after work and we got these boxes and these big old cops and we walking up and the guy goes, where are you guys going with them boxes? Well, we don't need this many. We can put some back. You know, we appear to be a little greedy. We don't have to get this many. He said, no. The owner said, if you're going to give them out to kids, you can have all 10,000 of them. What? Be careful what you pray for, because God don't play. First of all, that hit me is, where am I going to put 10,000 books? Because I'm thinking my living room, no, bedroom, no, basement, no. And how am I going to move them? Because it's Bill, he said, you're going to get the whole warehouse. Okay. So I left and I had to think, moving, truck. So I go to merchants, Mr. Eastman, back on my knees I went. Mr. Eastman, can you please move them for me? I need a lot of trucks. He said, I can move them in one trip. No, Mr. Eastman, it's 10,000 books. I need a big truck. I didn't think moving trucks. I'm thinking a van. I didn't think semi. He said, Julia, we'll get them. So where am I going to put them? I saw Emil Mathis, who at the wine stage, he passed away. He had art galleries. He had some storefronts downtown Racine. He gave me a storefront to use. This was in November. I got the books moved into a storefront, got some people to help me to put them around, got some officers. Now, I've never done this. I'm just going by God and my word and what he's telling me to do. And I would dream it, wake up and write it down. If you dream it, write it down, it's God speaking to you, hear me? And I wrote it down, and everything that God told me to do, I wrote it down and I did it. And do you know, the Journal Times came and we gave them books away. Them kids came in the middle of a snowstorm with three-wheeled wagons, a wheel off the wagon, pillowcases, you know, the Tom Sawyer thing where you make the shirt into a back thing. Them kids came in the snow, them kids came and got them books, and one day 10,000 books were gone. And I had the officers, I said, autograph the books so that, you know, they'll like us in uniform, they're here. So I lined the officers up, they came to help me, and they're like, happy reading, reading is fun, I love reading, and Cops and Kids was born. And then one day them books was gone, and they did that story. That story ran, Katie Couric with the NBC Today show. She read the story because it was Associated Press. Katie Couric called me, told me, she said, Julia, I read the story, the producer called me, I want to get you on the show. I said, I can't come on the show, I live in Wisconsin. I can't come on the show right now, I'm from Wisconsin. Well, why not? This is the #1 show in the world. Do you know I can't go tell Katie Couric you said no? Well, then tell Katie to call me, I'll tell her no. I'm in Wisconsin, we got 60 below with the wind. Nobody's standing out getting books in Wisconsin. Now that we get from our car, we running. We don't walk in Wisconsin in the winter, we run. We run to the garage, we run to Piggly Wiggly, we run in Piccadilly, we run in there, we run everywhere. You're never going to get any kids to stand outside to get any books from no cops. Not in December and January in Wisconsin. Well, I'll tell her. Why tell her? Katie Couric was so enamored that I wouldn't let her look crazy. She said, I want her. Katie Couric waited till July. They came, they ran that story ran, and one of Oprah's producers saw it, got me on the Oprah show. They came, got me on the show. Oprah made me an angel. My birthday is January 28th, hers is January 29th. She grew up like me. And she said, I want that story. Oprah got me on that show, and she gave me $100,000 to open and renovate a building, because I'm going fast. I can't give you the whole story. I ain't got 6 minutes. And so you got to kind of keep up. And so I got a building donated to me, got that donated to me, but it had been closed up for 28 years. So it was really, really bad. So I needed it renovated. So Oprah gave me $100,000 to get the building renovated, got that renovated, got that done. And I said to the chief, we can give them out from the police cars and the kids will love us. Kids are not going to love us. Yes, they will. I put them books in that squad car. The Journal Times followed me around. Them kids was coming around. Them kids saw I was giving out books. I said, excuse me, ma'am. Can I use your yard? I'm the police in the squad. What y'all want? I just want to give the kids some books. Books? Yeah, y'all, come on. Come on, y'all. Get these free books. Come on. The kids would come and get the books, and all of a sudden it got out that we were giving out books from the squad car. Them kids would see police cars. Wherever we were, kids were like, the police, the police. They would find our squad. I'm first, move, I'm getting books first. Move, I know I'm first, move. I'm waiting for the police to hit our squad. I'm police, can I go? And we're riding down the street, and the kids are going, police, police, do you have baby center clubs in your car? Do you have Clifford in your car? Police, do you have Phoenix and Ham in your car? Police, come here. Police, come here, can I get some of your books? I said, look, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Do you know we go on the call, come back, them kids sitting there waiting. And we don't know what we got, but in roll call, here's roll call like this. We're the officers. The books are lined up in the boxes and the bags. And the officers get the bags and we take them to our car. We just grab the books. We don't really know what we have. But when we get out on the street, the kids want certain books. And they're like, do you have Goosebumps #7? No, I don't have it. And so we get online. We get on squad. 41 headquarters. Go ahead, Julia. Journey Squad got a babysitter club #222. Headquarters to all city squads. Anybody got a babysitter club #22? Headquarters, I got a babysitter club. And headquarters, I got a babysitter club #10. Would you take 10? No, I already read 10. She's already read 10. Anybody? Headquarters, anybody got a Dr. Seuss? Anybody? And that got out. We got on the Channel 4. They got cops in Racine on the air trying to find children books. We did that. All of a sudden, one day, I'm skipping. My sister called me. Wake up! I'm on third shift, so I'm asleep all day. Wake up! You're on TV. Okay. I'm always on TV. No, you're in Texas on TV with Reverend Joel Osteen. He's got you in his sermon. I quickly turned on TV and Joel Osteen told the story about the books falling from heaven and all that. And she said, these books are mine. And what happened to Julia? He didn't say my name. He said, what happened to this police officer? The master stepped in. And the master stepped in. And the master stepped in. And her wishes and her prayers were answered. And I called him. The lady said, I said, this is the officer in Wisconsin that Joel Osteen had on his sermon. She said, yeah, right. No, this is me for real. It's me. I'm Julia. I'm the cop. He got him. Oh my God, Julia, this is Joel. Oh, that story inspired me so much. This. I'm going to send you the tape. He sent me the tape. Got the tape. Okay, yes. And then I started speaking around town and started speaking. And then Quota Club got me for their speaker. Roseanne. She got me for her speaker in Kenosha. Do you know that they were so happy with my speech that they invited me to be their international speaker in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? Can you imagine how I'm feeling? I went to Philadelphia with Quota. Let me tell y'all something. It was people from South Africa, Australia, you're international now, Venezuela, everywhere, people from all over the world. Do you know those women were so happy about what we were doing in Wisconsin that they went back home and they started cops and kids all over the world thanks to stand up.
Well,
stand up. You in the club, stand up. Stand up your hands, stand up. Stand up, friend. Stand up. Because of these ladies right here. Yes. It wasn't me. You're in the club. That means you in it. So they got that club together and they put cops and kids all over the world. So it's not a matter of it going all over the world, you guys. It's a matter of us sitting in this room who love to read. It's about us knowing that Wisconsin was responsible, not Julia. Wisconsin, because I don't have any money for any book. Wisconsin was responsible for reading, for books going in the hands of kids in Australia. We did that. In Venezuela, we did that. Wisconsin. So when I go place, I went to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I promise you, this is a city. It's called Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I promise you, I was their speaker. And this is a true place. And I went there, and I was their speaker, and their governor came, and he said, you mean to tell me we have children in Pennsylvania that don't have books to read? Because when you think of poverty, you think no shoes, no food, no shelter. Nobody ever thinks poverty in books. Nobody ever thinks that. He said, you can go back to Wisconsin and you can tell the people of Wisconsin that I got Pennsylvania. We're going to make sure all the kids get books. And Bethlehem, Pennsylvania called me and said, Julia, we have given away our 1 millionth book. And that was because of Racine, Wisconsin. And that's all the time that I have to come back, and I got like 2 hours. I love y'all. I thank y'all. And God bless you.
Julia was so inspirational that by the time Quota International ended last year, after 101 years, there were more cops and kids in Australia than there were here. They just knocked us out. We had her in for recognition, probably 5 years ago, and again, they gave her a Quota Award back then. And I'm so happy she's still here. And she actually lives right in Kenosha now. So she's right here, Parkside.
Parkside.
Okay. But we thank you so much. We've got some goodies. You've got lunch. Have a seat.